Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of our English Learning podcast. I'm Jennifer, and as always, I'm here with my wonderful co-host, Elizabeth. How are you today, Elizabeth?
Hi, Jennifer. I'm doing great, thanks for asking. Today's topic is one that's becoming more and more relevant in today's world. Is homeschooling better than a public or private school education? With the rise of online learning tools and more families considering homeschooling as an alternative to traditional schooling, many parents are asking themselves which option is best for their children. Today, we'll break down the advantages and disadvantages of homeschooling, public school, and private school to see if there's a clear winner, or if it all depends on the individual child.
That's right, Elizabeth. Homeschooling has become a popular alternative for many families over the years, and even more so recently due to the flexibility it offers. On the other hand, public and private schools provide a structured environment and access to extracurricular activities that some families feel are essential for their children's education and social development. It's a complex issue, and today we'll be looking at it from all angles to understand the pros and cons of each option.
Exactly. And for our listeners out there, we'd love to hear your thoughts on this topic. Have you or your children experienced homeschooling, public school, or private school? Which did you prefer and why? Share your opinions with us, and we might even feature them in a future episode. So, Jennifer, let's start by discussing the advantages of homeschooling. Why do some parents choose to homeschool their children instead of sending them to a traditional school?
Well, Elizabeth, one of the main reasons parents choose to homeschool is the flexibility it offers. Homeschooling allows families to create a customized curriculum that fits their child's individual learning style, interests, and pace. In a traditional school setting, students often have to follow a standardized curriculum, but in homeschooling, parents can tailor lessons to focus on subjects their child is passionate about or needs extra help with. This kind of personalized learning can lead to deeper understanding and engagement with the material.
That's such an important point, Jennifer. Every child learns differently, and in a traditional classroom, it's hard for teachers to cater to every student's individual needs. Homeschooling gives parents the ability to adjust the pace of lessons, spend more time on challenging topics, or even accelerate their child's education if they're ready to move ahead. This can result in a more effective learning experience where students aren't held back by the pace of the class or rushed through material before they fully understand it.
Exactly, Elizabeth. Another advantage of homeschooling is the flexibility in scheduling. Families who homeschool aren't bound by the typical school calendar, which means they can take vacations during the off-season, follow a more relaxed daily schedule, or even travel while continuing their education. This can be particularly beneficial for families with unique schedules or for children who participate in extracurricular activities like sports or music that require travel or flexible hours.
Absolutely, Jennifer. The freedom to set your own schedule is a huge benefit of homeschooling. It allows students to learn at times that work best for them, whether that's early in the morning, late at night, or spread throughout the day. This kind of flexibility can reduce stress and allow children to pursue other interests or activities outside of their academic work.
Yes, and beyond academics, homeschooling allows for a values-based education. Some parents choose to homeschool because they want to incorporate specific religious or moral teachings into their child's education, something that's often difficult or not allowed in public schools. Homeschooling gives parents more control over the content and approach to education, allowing them to pass on their beliefs and values in a more direct way.
That's such a great point, Jennifer. For families with strong religious or cultural values, homeschooling offers the opportunity to integrate those values into the learning process. This can be particularly important for parents who feel that public or private schools don't align with their family's beliefs or who want to ensure their children receive a more holistic education that includes moral and ethical development alongside academic learning.
Absolutely. And another key advantage of homeschooling is that it can provide a safe learning environment. Some parents choose homeschooling to avoid issues like bullying, peer pressure, or negative social influences that can sometimes occur in traditional school settings. Homeschooling allows parents to create a supportive and safe environment for their child to learn without the distractions or stress that can come from dealing with these social challenges.
Yes, Jennifer. For children who have struggled with bullying or other social issues in traditional schools, homeschooling can provide a much-needed respite. It allows them to focus on their education in a safe, nurturing environment without the fear of being teased or excluded. This can lead to better mental health, increased confidence, and a more positive attitude toward learning.
So, from the perspective of those who support homeschooling, the key advantages are flexibility, personalized learning, a values-based education, and a safe learning environment. But, of course, homeschooling isn't the right choice for every family. Let's now talk about the challenges of homeschooling. What are some of the difficulties that families face when choosing this educational path?
Well, Jennifer, one of the biggest challenges of homeschooling is the amount of time and commitment it requires from parents. In most cases, one parent needs to take on the role of teacher, which can be a full-time job. This can be difficult for families where both parents work or for single-parent households. Homeschooling requires a lot of planning, preparation, and dedication, and not every family has the time or resources to make it work effectively.
That's such an important point, Elizabeth. Homeschooling can be incredibly rewarding, but it's also a major commitment. Parents who homeschool are responsible for not only teaching their child, but also managing the curriculum, grading assignments, and staying on top of state education requirements. This can be overwhelming for parents who don't have teaching experience or who are trying to balance homeschooling with other responsibilities, like work or caring for younger children.
Exactly. Another challenge is the lack of social interaction that homeschooling can sometimes lead to. In a traditional school setting, students have the opportunity to interact with their peers, work on group projects, and develop important social skills. In homeschooling, these opportunities aren't as readily available. While some homeschooling families make an effort to involve their children in extracurricular activities or homeschooling groups, it can still be difficult to provide the same level of social interaction that a traditional school environment offers.
Absolutely, Elizabeth. The social aspect of school is often just as important as the academic side, especially for younger children who are learning how to work with others, resolve conflicts, and form friendships. Homeschooling can sometimes isolate children from their peers, and without regular interaction, they might miss out on developing important social skills that are crucial for their future success in both personal and professional life.
That's such a great point, Jennifer. And beyond social interaction, another challenge of homeschooling is the lack of access to certain resources and opportunities. Public and private schools often have access to specialized teachers, science labs, extracurricular programs, and athletic teams, things that can be hard for homeschooling families to replicate. While online resources and homeschooling groups can help fill in some of these gaps, it's not always possible to provide the same breadth of educational experiences at home.
Exactly, Elizabeth. Many schools offer programs like art classes, music lessons, or advanced science courses that can be difficult to offer in a homeschooling setting. For parents who aren't specialists in certain subjects, it can also be challenging to teach advanced topics like calculus or physics. This is where public and private schools have an advantage. They can provide students with access to a wide range of resources, experiences, and expertise that homeschooling might not be able to match.
Absolutely. And another potential downside of homeschooling is that it might not prepare students for the structured environment they'll encounter in college or the workforce. In a traditional school, students learn to follow schedules, meet deadlines, and work with authority figures who aren't their parents. These experiences help prepare them for the responsibilities and expectations of adult life. Homeschooling, while flexible, might not always provide the same level of structure or external accountability.
That's such a great point, Elizabeth. The structure of traditional schooling helps students develop important life skills like time management, organization, and working with others, skills they'll need whether they go to college or enter the workforce. While homeschooling can be highly effective academically, some critics argue that it might not provide the same level of preparation for navigating the demands of the real world.
So, from the perspective of those who see the challenges of homeschooling, the key concerns are the time commitment required from parents, the lack of social interaction, limited access to resources, and the potential lack of preparation for structured environments. Now, let's turn our attention to public schools. What are some of the advantages of public education, and why do so many families choose this option?
Well, Elizabeth, one of the biggest advantages of public school is that it provides free and accessible education to all students. Public schools are funded by the government, which means that families don't have to pay tuition to attend. This makes public education a more affordable option for many families, particularly those who might not be able to afford private school tuition or the resources needed for homeschooling.
That's such an important point, Jennifer. Public schools ensure that all children, regardless of their family's financial situation, have access to an education. This is especially important in promoting educational equity, as it allows students from diverse backgrounds to receive the same basic education. Public schools also offer a wide range of extracurricular activities, from sports teams to music programs, which can help students explore their interests and develop well-rounded skills.
Exactly, Elizabeth. Another advantage of public school is the opportunity for socialization. Public schools bring together students from different backgrounds, which gives children the chance to interact with peers from diverse communities. This can help them develop important social skills, learn to work in groups, and build friendships. The social environment of public school can be a valuable part of a child's education, as it helps prepare them for the collaborative nature of college and the workforce.
Yes, Jennifer. Public schools also have access to a wide range of resources and facilities. Many public schools have libraries, science labs, gymnasiums, and access to specialized teachers in areas like art, music, and foreign languages. This allows students to benefit from a broad and diverse education that might be difficult to replicate at home. Public schools also often offer special education programs and support services for students with learning disabilities, which can provide them with the assistance they need to succeed.
Absolutely, Elizabeth. And one of the other key advantages of public school is the sense of structure it provides. Public schools follow a set schedule, with regular class periods, assignments, and exams. This helps students develop important skills like time management, meeting deadlines, and working under supervision, skills they'll need in both college and their future careers.
Yes, Jennifer. The structure of public school helps prepare students for the real world by teaching them to navigate a more formal environment where they're expected to follow rules and work with others. This can be incredibly valuable when they transition to college or the workplace, where similar expectations will be in place.
So, the advantages of public schools include free and accessible education, opportunities for socialization, access to resources, and a structured learning environment. But, of course, public schools also have their challenges. What are some of the drawbacks of public education?
Well, Jennifer, one of the main challenges of public schools is the issue of overcrowding. In many areas, public schools are underfunded and overpopulated, leading to large class sizes and limited resources. This can make it difficult for teachers to give students the individual attention they need, and students might not get the support they require to thrive academically.
That's such an important point, Elizabeth. Large class sizes can also lead to discipline issues, as teachers may struggle to manage the needs and behaviors of a large group of students. This can create a distracting or disruptive learning environment, which can negatively impact students' ability to focus and succeed.
Exactly. Another challenge is the standardized curriculum that public schools must follow. While this ensures that all students receive a basic education, it can also limit creativity and flexibility in teaching. Some students might feel bored or disengaged if the curriculum doesn't match their learning style or interests, and teachers may have less freedom to adjust lessons to meet the needs of individual students.
Absolutely. Public schools are also more likely to face issues like bullying, peer pressure, or negative social influences. While socialization is one of the benefits of public school, it can also be a source of stress for some students, particularly if they struggle to fit in or face challenges like bullying.
Yes, Jennifer. So, the main drawbacks of public schools include overcrowding, limited individualized attention, a standardized curriculum, and potential social challenges like bullying. Now, let's talk about private schools. What are the benefits of private school education?
One of the biggest advantages of private schools is the ability to offer a more personalized education. Private schools typically have smaller class sizes, which allows teachers to give students more one-on-one attention and tailor lessons to meet individual needs. This can lead to better academic outcomes and a more supportive learning environment.
That's such a great point, Jennifer. Private schools also have more freedom in terms of their curriculum. They're not bound by state or national standards, which allows them to offer specialized programs, advanced courses, and extracurricular activities that might not be available in public schools. This can provide students with a more enriched educational experience that aligns with their interests and goals.
Exactly, Elizabeth. Private schools also often have access to better resources and facilities. Many private schools have state-of-the-art libraries, science labs, art studios, and athletic facilities, which can provide students with a more well-rounded education. Private schools may also offer specialized programs like STEM education, international baccalaureate programs, or religious instruction, depending on the school's mission.
Yes, Jennifer. And another advantage of private schools is the close-knit community they often foster. Because private schools tend to be smaller, students, teachers, and parents often have stronger relationships, which can create a supportive and nurturing environment. This sense of community can help students feel more connected and engaged in their education.
Absolutely, Elizabeth. But, of course, private schools also come with their challenges. One of the biggest drawbacks is the cost. Private school tuition can be very expensive, making it inaccessible to many families. While some private schools offer scholarships or financial aid, the high cost can still be a barrier for many.
That's such an important point, Jennifer. And beyond the cost, private schools can sometimes lack diversity. Because they tend to attract students from more affluent backgrounds, private schools may not offer the same level of socioeconomic diversity as public schools, which can limit students' exposure to different perspectives and experiences.
Exactly, Elizabeth. And while private schools often have more freedom in their curriculum, this can also be a downside for some families. Private schools may not be subject to the same oversight as public schools, which means there can be less accountability when it comes to teacher qualifications, curriculum standards, or student performance.
Absolutely, Jennifer. So, the main challenges of private schools are the high cost, potential lack of diversity, and limited oversight. As we've seen, there are pros and cons to homeschooling, public schools, and private schools, and the right choice really depends on the individual student and family.
Absolutely, Elizabeth. And speaking of different perspectives, I think it's a great time to hear from one of our listeners. Let's take a call from someone who might have an interesting perspective on whether homeschooling, public school, or private school is the best option. Hi there, you're on the air with Jennifer and Elizabeth. What's your name, and where are you calling from?
Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Elizabeth. My name is Emily, and I'm calling from Denver, Colorado. I've been listening to your podcast for a while now, and I love today's topic. I wanted to share my experience because I was homeschooled for most of my education, but I also spent a few years in public school, so I've experienced both sides.
Hi, Emily. That's so interesting. We'd love to hear about your experience with both homeschooling and public school. Which did you prefer and why?
Well, I loved homeschooling because it gave me so much freedom. I could work at my own pace, focus on the subjects I enjoyed, and take breaks when I needed to. But when I went to public school, I really enjoyed the social aspect, being around my friends and participating in extracurricular activities. I think both have their advantages, and it really depends on the student.
That's such a valuable perspective, Emily. It sounds like both homeschooling and public school had something to offer you. Do you think homeschooling gave you the academic foundation you needed, or do you feel like public school helped you in areas that homeschooling didn't?
I think homeschooling gave me a really strong academic foundation because I could spend more time on subjects that interested me. But public school helped me develop my social skills and learn how to work with different types of people. I think a balance between the two would have been ideal for me.
That's such great insight, Emily. Thank you so much for sharing your experience with us.
Thanks for having me. I love listening to your podcast, and I'm excited to hear more episodes.
Thanks so much for calling in, Emily. Take care.
Bye, Emily.
That was a great call from Emily. She really highlighted the benefits of both homeschooling and public school, academic freedom on one hand and social interaction on the other.
Absolutely, Jennifer. And for those of you listening, if you're enjoying our podcast, please like and subscribe to our channel. Your support really helps us keep creating these episodes and sharing more interesting topics with you.
So, Where does that leave us in our discussion today? I think it's clear that there's no one-size-fits-all answer when it comes to homeschooling versus public or private school. Each option has its strengths and weaknesses, and the right choice really depends on the individual child's needs, learning style, and family circumstances.
Exactly, Jennifer. Key takeaway is that education is a personal journey, and there are many paths to success. Whether you choose homeschooling, public school, or private school, the most important thing is to find the option that works best for your child and helps them reach their full potential.
We hope today's discussion has given you some new insights into the question of whether homeschooling is better than a public or private school education. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes, thank you for listening. We're always here to share new insights and help you learn English while exploring important topics like this one. Keep listening, keep learning, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye for now, everyone. And remember, education is about finding the path that works best for you.